Of course, Monday night, Tuesday morning, whether you're in the U.S. or Japan, New Japan Pro Wrestling announced their return. And whenever I think of New Japan Pro Wrestling, I think, some of the incredible stars and tag teams, including the multiple-time tag team champions, Guerillas of Destiny. One half of that tag team joins me now on the Vaqueros Cafe and Cantina hotline. He's got a new podcast called Tama's Island. And, of course, you can get it wherever you get your podcast. He is the good, bad guy, Tama Tonga. Follow him on Twitter at Tama_Tonga. Tama, how are things in the Sunshine State?
Dude, what's up, baby? Hey, it's hot. We're in summertime now, man, and it's nice and hot. It's beautiful weather. This is my type of weather, man. It's brown people weather right here.
You're right. It is hot here in Texas. We're supposed to hit 100 today, so summertime has definitely hit. So I think I'd almost rather be in Florida. At least you got the ocean by you. So did you guys get much rain or anything out of that storm system a few days ago?
We did. We had like 4 or 5 days straight of rain, and what's today? Today is Tuesday. Sunday was the last day, so yesterday it was clear. Today was clear, so it's been a nice couple of days.
I bet. Yeah, that's the thing. You're on the side that got all the weather. We're on the side that all we got was hot and dry temperatures. So I get you. Let's start with the podcast. What inspired you to decide to do a podcast?
To be honest, Stu, the fans. We were going to throw the Bullet Club beach party down in Tampa, and because of the whole pandemic, we had to cancel. And there was a lot of people that donated their money to us instead of taking a refund. And Stu, I was just so grateful for it that I hit them all up and I said, hey, let's all get together for a Zoom session on Friday night, and we just we'll have some drinks and just chat, and just wanted to just thank them personally. And it was such a success that Friday, and then we got together again the following Friday, and then the Friday after that, and it just kind of rolled in. And there were so many questions about my personal life and wrestling, my career, that's how it formed, was because of them. And it was just to generalize and cover all their questions, and Tama's Island was born.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard the episodes. You and Ross Berman do a fantastic job. I heard today's episode, which was you and Luke Gallows, and I mean, just some of the stories that was, and you could also hear how much reverence Luke has for your father, Haku, and that seems to be across the wrestling industry, is how many people just revere your dad. I mean, talk about just being able to chat with your Bullet Club brother there, and with them getting ready to make their next move after being released by WWE. Just talk about how much fun that was to kind of chop it up with Luke.
Well, besides the the booze adding heightened interesting fun to that, it was good to catch up. We kind of I called him just to say hello, and we were just chatting and having a few drinks, and we just decided to go ahead and do the podcast there at midnight. So yeah, that was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun after midnight.
Oh, I bet. Absolutely. I can only agree. What was the drink of choice that night for you?
I think he had. This is not crazy. He had red wine and also whiskey, Jack Daniels mixed. I was on White Claw and red wine. Red wine is our drink of choice, our common drink of choice there.
Okay. I love a good red wine, whether it's a good Cabernet or some of the others. That's any good dry. Now, do you go dry or not so dry?
I go not so dry.
Okay.
I like it. Yeah. Oh yeah. I like to leave a little water in my body.
Absolutely. I get it. talk for a second. There was another episode that you had where you talked about, and I didn't know this until I heard this, that you served in the Air Force. And you,
I did.
Yeah. Now you worked on a specific aircraft, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And
I worked in the B-2 stealth bomber.
B-2s,
yep.
That's right. And what captured me, because of course I'm an Army vet myself. And the funny thing is, you and I both had our tech trainings at Air Force bases in Texas. You were at Dias up in Wichita Falls. I was at Goodfellow in San Angelo because I was a Russian linguist. So,
nice.
Yeah, it was kind of nice. You're up in North Texas. I was in West Texas.
Mm-hmm.
And you talk. I had to laugh. The talk about the bus ride. You did your basic training in San Antonio. I assume that was. Oh, which one was it? There's like 2 or 3 bases in San Antonio.
Oh boy, they're gonna kill me for this one.
Heck, I'm not.
In San Antonio.
Yeah, I'm an hour away, and I can't. Yeah, I'm an hour away, and I can't think of it. But you did a bus ride from San Antonio to Wichita Falls, and now I've driven that before because now Wichita Falls is the home of the Professional Wrestling Hall of Fame, and so I've driven up there because we do shows up there every year, and that is. I mean, even for someone like me that is used to driving in Texas, that's not just a hop, skip, and a jump. So I can only imagine how crazy it was for you to ride in a bus with a bunch of, graduated trainees from San Antonio to Wichita Falls. What was, I mean, just talk about, for a second, just give me the most vivid memory of the bus ride.
It was Lackland. There you go. Lackland,
yes. Yes.
It took me a second there. But, Stu, I was just so eager to leave Lackland. I wanted to get away from boot camp. It was, I think anybody who did boot camp was just ready to get out of there, and just the eagerness to see what the next phase was. And it was so early in the morning. That's something that you're used to, waking up to do physical training. So it was a lot of just eager anticipation of what's next. I was looking forward to getting out and seeing what, oh my goodness, I'm about to start. This is my journey. This is the next step. Get me the hell out of boot camp. That was it. But it was a long drive. I think I don't know if I slept any because I was just ready to see what the next stage was. But, whew.
Yeah.
That day was infamous.
I know that feeling, and sadly, Wichita Falls, unlike San Antonio, Wichita Falls and San Angelo are very similar because it's basically the Air Force Base and the college. It's Midwestern State in Wichita Falls, and of course Angelo State in San Angelo. So that's all there was to the towns, So, and sadly, that's the same thing today. So, Let me ask you this before we transition to a couple other things. You were serving. In fact, you had mentioned about how when you got to Dias and you were getting processed in for your tech training. That was right at 9/11, and I served about a decade before. But just talk about your time at Dias Air Force Base and then your service in the Air Force around 9/11, because we're now, we're getting it's getting close to almost 20 years since then. So just reflect back on what it meant to you to give of your life to the Air Force during one of the craziest and most significant times in our history.
Getting in at that time, especially that day, I came in at a heightened state of emergency. So I didn't know what it was before that. From my understanding, it was very chill. When you're not at war, everything is very lax, And so my first day over there at Dias at Wichita was a state of emergency. We were being attacked. So that state of emergency was my new normal. That was my normal. So it was. I just had to adapt to the new way, which I just, to me, it was just the way it was. And, man, to be truthful, Stu, I loved it. I loved it. I loved being a part of it. I was part of something. There was a goal. There's so much to the military that a lot of people don't know, not just, fighting for your country, working for your country, but meeting the people, people from all over the world, from wherever, any American citizen from all parts of America was there. And I was able to make friends that I still have to this day. The whole experience itself, 6 years, that's a solid, time of your life to spend doing something in one place, which was there in Central Missouri. I really enjoyed it. At the time, I was like, I just didn't know because I was young and just, young, dumb, and full of piss of vinegar, But and now looking back, I really enjoyed it. I loved my time and really appreciative of everything that I've learned. So, if it was me, man, I'd make everybody come out of high school and go in the military, do some time. That's how they do in Israel.
I've heard that a few times, and believe me, and I get the whole thing about you didn't really know the difference because you were there when it happened, as opposed to maybe somebody like me that had served before. So I saw the shift, and it was it was very very eye-opening. I can tell you that. Talking with Tama Tonga from New Japan Pro Wrestling. Follow him on Twitter at Tama_Tonga. And again, his podcast, Tama's Island, available on all podcast platforms. Plus, you have a Patreon where fans can subscribe and they get special benefits. So, fans, you can check that out. Let's talk for a second about New Japan. They made the announcement. They're coming back starting on June 15th. They're going to run, they've got that one night, the Together Special Project. And then they're going to run the New Japan Cup with no fans in attendance. And then July, I believe, is 11 and 12 is going to be Dominion with fans in attendance. I mean, how excited are you? Because we have the last New Japan show was the end of February. So how excited are you to get back at it? And you and Tongaloa, you still got your sights on those tag belts.
That's right. You're right. I'm very excited that we even opened up, and there is now, light at the end of the tunnel, and we know the date that's going to happen, and just to see that and know that we're no longer in the dark is just okay. Here we go. We're rolling. It's slow, but we're starting. So as long as we start, that's all that matters. And there's a lot of things that we need to catch up on. Tag belts, singles run, whatever.
Yeah, you got a couple of Bullet Club mates in the New Japan Cup, and of course the winner of that will get a shot at both the IWGP Heavyweight and Intercontinental titles being held by Tetsuya Naito. I know it'll probably be a little bit of bias, but give me your pick in who's going to win the cup.
Oh,
I know Ishimori's in there, and which is kind of neat because they're letting junior heavyweights compete in this where they haven't before.
Right. I can't pick. I can't pick anybody else. I can't pick anybody else. That's no matter what. I gotta stay true to my people. I can't pick anybody else.
That's true. I wouldn't expect anything less. He is Tama Tonga, one half of the Guerillas of Destiny. Follow him on Twitter at Tama_Tonga. I'll get that straight. Hey, by the way, I was just thinking about this because, of course, you and I and Tonga Loa, got to have a great time in Miami during Super Bowl week this past year. You know that the Super Bowl will be in Tampa Bay next year. I'm just thinking, there's a lot of parties that happen during Super Bowl week. Bullet Club, I bet you they could get a pretty good following if they do a Super Bowl beach party.
Oh, baby. Hey.
It's in your backyard.
All right?
It's in your. I'm just saying. It's in your backyard right there.
That's true. That's true.
Believe me,
okay.
I'll skip.
All right, Stu. I think you're onto something here.
I'll believe me. I'll skip one of those highfalutin ones to come out and party with the Bullet Club.
That's what I'm talking about.
So just saying. We may have to talk offline about that. Hey, Tama, it is so good to talk to you. Hey, by the way, how's your family? How's everybody doing during this crazy pandemic thing?
Yeah, everybody's good. Thank you, Stu. They're all good. They're safe. Everybody's healthy, and we're staying safe, man. And I hope everybody out there is too. So it looks like things are opening up, and they're starting to let some things happen. But still, hopefully, everybody still stay safe, stay healthy, and let's get rocking and rolling now.
Absolutely. Tama Tonga, thank you so much for your time. All the best to you and everybody, and we'll talk again soon.
Thank you, Stu.